So your child goes to bed one night and wakes up a completely different child overnight, right after they were just a little sick. They have new meltdowns, lost skills, major motor loops, and increased OCD and anxiety. And everyone just shrugs and says, well, this is typical of autism. It's just autism. But what if it isn't? What if it's your child's own immune system that's accidentally attacking their brain? That's PANS and PANDAS, and it could change everything about how you understand your child. I'm Dr. Dana Johnson, an occupational therapist specializing in complex autism, whole body apraxia, and intentional movement. And after working with hundreds of autistic kids and their families, here's the thing that I know for sure. Behavior always has a reason. Sometimes it's sensory, sometimes it's motor, sometimes it has to do with communication, and sometimes, like we're going to talk about today, it's medical. By the end of this video, you'll understand 4 things. First, what PANS and PANDAS actually are, why they can look exactly like autism is suddenly getting worse. We'll talk about the warning signs that every parent should know, and we'll talk about how to tell the difference between PANS and PANDAS and being stuck in a motor loop. Now, here's a quick but very important note. This is not me diagnosing your child. I am not a medical doctor. Not every regression is PANS or PANDAS, and not every illness causes it. But here's my rule. A sudden, dramatic change always deserves curiosity. Big changes usually have a reason. Now, here's one of the biggest mistakes that our field makes. We assume that every new behavior automatically belongs to autism. I mean, you've heard it as a parent. It's just part of autism, or they're getting older, or it's hormones, or they're going through puberty. And sometimes, sure, that very well may be the case. But imagine someone who breaks their leg, and every doctor that they see just keeps handing them a different pair of shoes. New shoes, still broken leg. Now, that's what happens when we treat the behavior as the problem instead of asking, why is this behavior suddenly showing up? Because here's the thing, autism doesn't give kids a force field against other medical conditions. If anything, many autistic kids deal with more medical stuff, not less. And one of those things could be PANS or PANDAS. So essentially, here's the whole video in one sentence. Sometimes autism isn't getting worse. Sometimes the whole immune system is temporarily changing how the brain works. That is a completely different problem, and it asks us to start asking completely different questions. Okay, so let's decode what PANS and PANDAS actually is. So PANDAS stands for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorders Associated with Streptococcal Infections. Yeah, I know. Say that 5 times fast. So here's the simple version. Your child gets strep. Their immune system spots the bacteria and pumps out antibodies. Now think of these antibodies as tiny guided missiles. Their entire job is to hunt down that bacteria and destroy it. And usually, mission accomplished. Infection gone. Everybody goes home happy. Except sometimes those missiles get confused. Instead of attacking only the bacteria, they accidentally target part of your child's own brain. That's an immune reaction. The body friendly firing on itself. Now, PANS is essentially the same idea, just with more triggers. So not only strep, it could be the flu, Lyme, other infections, sometimes just really big inflammation. So think of it this way. PANDAS is one specific doorway. PANS is the whole house. PANDAS lives under the PANS umbrella. Okay, so here's a simple image to help remember all of this. Picture your immune system as a security team at a football stadium. Now, normally they're doing great. Someone starts a fight, security calmly removes the troublemaker, and order is restored. But now imagine security has a very bad day and totally gets confused. Instead of grabbing the troublemakers, they start tackling the referees, then the players, then the people who are supposed to be there watching. It's total chaos. That's essentially what's happening. The immune system starts tackling healthy brain tissue instead of just the infection. And the area it goes after most often is called the basal ganglia. Now, why does this even matter? Well, it's actually really important because the basal ganglia handle movement, motor control, habits, emotional regulation, starting movement, stopping movement, attention, automatic behaviors. Does this sound familiar? Yes, those are the exact things that most of your kids struggle with on a day-to-day basis. However, parents suddenly notice that everything is going haywire. Now, here's where it gets really important. Your child already has and struggles with movement, whole body apraxia. They're already working incredibly hard just to move on purpose, to regulate their sensory input and to coordinate their body. Now, stack brain inflammation on top of all of that. It's like asking someone to drive across the city at rush hour while half the traffic lights are out. The roads are all still there, the driver still knows exactly where they're going, but it just got a whole lot harder to get there. Your child hasn't forgotten anything. Their brain is just struggling to send and receive the signals efficiently. Okay, so what are you actually looking for? What are the symptoms? Well, we're gonna get to that. But here's a secret. The biggest clue actually aren't the symptoms, it's the speed. Parents with kids who have PANS and PANDAS famously say, I went to bed with one child and woke up with another. The symptoms can include sudden onset OCD symptoms, or what some of my parents say, their loops are out of control. They may have new tics or extreme anxiety, rage, food refusal, sleep completely falling apart, losing skills, communication that's slipping, and even bathroom accidents. But the common thread is that it happens fast, overnight, or over just a couple of days. Now, I talk with parents about changes in symptoms and what they're observing all the time. Now, some parents will come in and tell me that their child develops new behaviors, but we actually learn that it's happening over a couple of months or even years. Now, that's likely development and or puberty or changing sensory needs. But other families come in and talk to me and say, it's abrupt or things are getting much, much worse. And when we dive in, I find out that their child has strep or had another infection that they were exposed to. And then 5 days later, that's when we see these anxiety increase or OCD through the roof, refusing food, and the parents cannot motor coach them out of their motor loops. So what's the difference? The timeline. And that timeline is what's important for your child's medical team to know. Okay, so what's the lesson here? Well, behavior tells us something, but it doesn't tell us everything. So if you notice sudden changes in your child, like what we just talked about, please don't just think it's autism. Don't stop there. Check in with your doctor because PANS and PANDAS are real and they can be treated. Now, if this video made you think more about behavior and autism just a little bit differently, please subscribe. Because every week I break down the motor, sensory, medical, and communication pieces behind complex autism in plain language so that you can actually use the information. And share this with a parent who may need to hear this information today. Because the better that we can understand why something is happening, the better we can support our kids. I'm Dr. Dana. I'll see you on the next one.